Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? Um, well, this is my first time going live, and I want to talk about the Niners. I want to talk about what's going on or what's going to happen this year. Um, I made a couple of notes, and I was, want to see if you guys going to agree on this. As for the draft, there's a lot of scenarios that's going to happen, that might happen. Here's one of my scenarios that I think it's going to happen. It all depends on Arizona, what they do with that first pick. Now, I don't know if Arizona is going to trade a quarterback that they have now and pick Murray, but, we don't know. Um, if that happens, then Bosa is going to be available at number two, and I think the Niners are going to go and push hard and get him. Now, if Arizona decides not to go with Bosa, um, then Niners, they're going to be there to get him. Now, if Arizona decides to go after somebody else that's not Boza, um, then we have a good situation here. When I mean a good situation is if Arizona does not pick up Boza, then now the Niners uh, sit at number two, they'll get Bosa. But if Arizona does decide to take Bosa at number one, now the Niners could either go after Josh Allen, which he's more of a linebacker than a defensive end. So you're gambling, He might do well, but then again, we don't know. But that's a gamble. Now, the Giants, they said at number six. Giants obviously need a quarterback. Yeah, they talk about Eli Manning and stuff like that. But Eli Manning, he's on his way out. Now, if they do want to get the quarterback, which is going to be Murray, um, here's the situation. They might go ahead and trade with the Niners. Okay, Niners going to move to number six. Giants will move to number two. Now the Giants get their quarterback. Now the 49ers sit at number six. But for that to happen, the Niners would get Odell Beckham, okay, plus maybe an extra draft pick this year, which will be good for the Niners. Now the Niners jump back to number six. Now you have other teams ahead of them, obviously, but you still have Josh Allen, you still have Mr. Quinnen Williams, but there's one player that I think that the Niners would pick at number six will be Greedy Williams. Or, nobody has said this, Burns from FSU. Now, that's a true defensive end. We are having problems with our cornerbacks. A lot of people talk about Kettle Witherspoon, that, for whatever reason, our DB's coach was not doing his job right, whatever. Listen, guys, we're professionals, okay? You could be a quarterback, offensive tackle, tight end, linebacker, free safety. Okay, you're in the NFL. All right, point blank. You're not in college. You're not in high school. You learn this position from young. Once you get to the NFL, there might be a couple of things that you could tweak, to make yourself a little bit better. But there's no excuses. Okay, you got to know how to tackle. You got to know how to defend the ball. There's no excuse. For me, there's no excuse. Okay, it's like having a trade. It's like being a mechanic on an automobile. You learn from a young age, and yeah, there's always gonna be things that you could tweak around and make yourself better. But the basics, you know it. Okay, a Kettle Witherspoon, yeah, he might turn it around, you know, and be the cornerback that we want him to be. But we have to bring in more competition. I think it's either going to be Greedy Williams or Burns from FSU. Yeah, a lot of people might disagree on it, but think about it. Free agency, let's say we bring in Trey Flowers, right? Trey Flowers, we might get what? No, maybe 3 years, 4 years out of him. He's only 26 years old. You have Burns that you just picked up in the first round pick. He might be a sleeper, but I think Greedy Williams might be the one that's going to go to the 49ers. And I think it's going to be a perfect fit. He has the height, he has the speed, and he's going to bring the competition with Kittle Witherspoon. That's how I see it. I might be wrong, but that's my opinion. Is Greedy Williams at number six? We get Odell Beckham, and we get an extra draft pick. That's the best scenario. Now, free agency. If we get Trey Flowers and we put him there with Solomon Thomas and Buckner and Armstead in the other side, that's gonna be a best hell of a combo. I mean, you got Solly in the middle with Buckner, okay? You got Trey Flowers on one end, and then you have Armstead in the other side. Yo, that's insane. That will be a defensive line that it's gonna stop the run because I think Solomon Thomas could stop the run. It's gonna put double team on Trey Flowers, meaning it's gonna be 1-on-1 with Solomon Thomas, 1-on-1 with Buckner. That's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be sacks like crazy going on. Linebackers, we need somebody to help out Warner. There's multiple guys out there that could help. We'll see. I think right now our main concern would be linebacker and defensive end. Yeah, we have the corners, we have free safeties, but don't get me wrong, Colbert, he's good. He's good, and I really believe that our defensive back coach pretty much didn't do his job like he was supposed to, and I think it's just pretty much between him and the injuries, it pretty much messed up our defense. But I think we're gonna get it right. I think Tart is a good player. I think Colbert is a good player. I don't think we're gonna try to tinker with that. I mean, unless there's a badass player that's willing to come to the Niners and play with us, then yeah, situations might change. But I think re-signing Ward and having him there, free safety slash cornerback or strong safety slash cornerback, it could be a little mixture of everything. But I think Greedy Williams will take Ahkello Witherspoon's spot. I think Ahkello Witherspoon will no longer be with the 49ers. That's just my opinion. I think he's too soft. But remember, we didn't have a lot of pressure last year with the quarterback. Now things will change because now we will have more pressure, meaning the quarterback's going to have to release the ball sooner than what maybe he want to wait a couple of more seconds, but he can't. He can't. So saying that, you put pressure on the quarterback and you make the quarterback either run out of the pocket, which we have linebackers to cover that, but if you make the quarterback throw the ball before time, then it's easier on the cornerbacks and it's easier on the free safeties because now the receivers, they ain't running their routes because they can't, because the ball is already in the air, so they have to short their routes. You know what I'm saying? So it could make Ahkello Witherspoon better. Maybe last year, since we didn't sack the quarterback so much, it made Ahkello Witherspoon vulnerable. But we have to see. But I think Greedy Williams is going to be there, blowing in his ear and saying, hey, yo, you better get your shit straight because if not, I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the defensive line puts more pressure on the quarterback, changes the outlook of our defense, because I'm going to tell you right now, we have a badass defense. We had injuries, and if we would have had Colbert there, we would have had Jaskari Tart there, man, I believe having them healthy throughout the whole year or the season, we're going to have a badass defense. Offensively, a lot of people talking about Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown, but there's two players that we have in our team that nobody has says anything about them. And I'm going to name those two players right now. One is Bourne. Two is Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor, to me, using him the proper way, is going to be the next Edelman. I'm telling you, that kid could play. Short passes, that's him. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you're going to go to him. End zone, I think Bourne could be a threat. He's growing. He's maturing. Nobody's talking about those two. Think about it. You add Odell Beckham, you're adding speed, okay? You got Goodwin on the other side, that's speed. Now let's talk about short yardage. Trent Taylor and Dante Pettis. Those are the two guys that you're going to use mainly because Odell Beckham most likely is going to get double teamed. Goodwin, I see Goodwin more as a down the field catcher. route runners and stuff like that, you see Dante Pettis and Trent Taylor. Okay. Yeah, no, Odell Beckham, of course, obviously, but let's take Odell Beckham out there because once they double team Odell Beckham, and then you have linebackers out there double teaming, um, let's say George Kittle, and you can't double team George Kittle, you can't double team Mr. Beckham. So obviously, it's going to be man to man versus the linebackers. I'm sorry, it's going to be man to man versus George Kittle. Then now you have Goodwin. Then you have Dante Pettis. So either one of those guys is gonna I'm sorry, it's gonna shine. Okay, uh, but man, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about how our offense is gonna be so badass. I'm talking about the combination of Kittle, Odell Beckham, McKinnon, and Breida. Imagine having all those players on the field at one time. Wow. I'm talking about that's going to be crazy. That's going to be like, defense is going to be like, yo, what do we do here? If we double team Odell Beckham, now it frees up Kittle man to man with linebackers. You know Kittle's going to eat eat it like if it was like Frosted Flakes. He's going to eat that linebacker like, wow. Then now you got McKinnon in the backfield. Okay. Now you got Dante Pettis, you got Goodwin, and possibly Trent Taylor. So it's like on third down, it's like, whoa, timeout. Let's think about it. There's nothing to think about it. You're doomed. You're doomed. Man, we're gonna have a badass team next year. Well, actually, this year, and it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be damn crazy. Um, I believe we're gonna make it to the playoffs. I don't think we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl, but you never know because having Jimmy G healthy, having Odell Beckham healthy, Kittle healthy, Breida healthy, and McKinnon healthy, and then we have the sleeper Mozart. So either way, man, we have a team built to make a push to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now. Now, if for whatever reason Jimmy G goes down again, then we have a big question mark. I know we have Mullins, and I know that, Mullins done good, but he's no Jimmy G. The draft could be crazy this year because imagine the Niners picking up Murray. It will surprise the crap out of everybody. Now, I don't see that happening because you have Jimmy G there with a big contract, and Jimmy G healthy could give you, a good 5, 6, 7 years, playing for the Niners. But the big question is, what happens if he goes down? Yeah, we have free agency. We have some quarterbacks out there that are proven. But imagine adding Murray and teaching Murray the ropes. Remember, you draft Murray, you don't have to give him a big contract. Okay? But imagine he learning from Jimmy G. So imagine having Jimmy G, Mullins, and Murray back there. Wow. Go out there, get a defensive end, plug them in free agency. Bam. You solve that problem with Trey Flowers. You don't have to go after a rookie. You might be able to do it maybe a year or 2 years down the road. So just imagine that. Imagine that we plug in our needs through free agency, and we get Kyler Murray as our third stringer. He's gonna learn the ropes. Maybe it's probably gonna take him maybe 2 years, 3 years to learn the system, to learn, twinkle around, his throwing motion or whatever. So just imagine that. It's gonna freaking mess up the whole draft scenario because nobody is expecting Niners to do that. But imagine if they do. Imagine if they're thinking about, hey, what happens if Jimmy G goes down? What happens if that knee goes out on him again? You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Think about that. A lot of people haven't said about that, but think about it. Murray to the Niners. That would like totally mess up everybody in the draft. But for me, I think our needs will be answered by free agency. I don't think right now we're in the stage. If Bosa's there, Bosa's ready to be plugged in. Don't get me wrong. Bosa, you get him, boom, he's plugged in, he's a starter. But if Bosa's not there, I wouldn't gamble on bringing in rookies to plug them in right away because I want pressure right away. I want somebody to come in, experience, and knows what they're doing, and bam. I don't want to go through another year where we can't get to the quarterback. If Bosa is there, we get him, we plug him in, we know that we're going to get something out of Bosa. But if he's not there, I'm not going to gamble with Josh Allen. I'd rather go to the free agency, get Trey Flowers, or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe throughout the draft, maybe later in the draft, we get a defensive end. You know, try to groom him and see what we get out of him. Put him in once in a while. You know what I'm saying? To see what we have out of him. And like I say, the main thing would be free agency. We get Odell Beckham, yeah, offense is on lockdown. That's it. That's all we need. We get that receiver there, plus what we have already, lockdown. Lockdown. Remember, this is Kyle Shanahan's offense, and it'll be on lockdown. With Odell Beckham or Antonio Brown there, I think it's going to be Odell Beckham. It's going to be a lockdown. Now, as for rookies, yeah, we might bring in a couple of rookies for competition. We might get lucky and get a gold gem. He turns out to be a superstar. Maybe not. But we already answered our problems with free agency. We have the money to do it. Why not do it? Bring in some studs in there for maybe a couple of years. Then use our rookies that we have now to groom them with the veterans that we have. I mean, that's something that I would do. That's something that I believe that's a smart thing to do. Now, if you're like first year of Kyle Shanahan, yeah, then you start bringing in rookies and, you start gambling with them. You're going to have a down season. Maybe this year, maybe next year because all these rookies. But right now, we're in a situation where we need to bring in veterans. We need to bring in quality veterans, bring in a couple of rookies, and maybe, like I say, we might get a gold gem, maybe not. But we won't need them because now we have this year, now we have next year to bring in more rookies and hopefully, we pop a gold star in there, whatever. But if we don't, but we have the veterans that we need. If so, we have to go after another veteran next year to replace somebody else, then we do it. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys agree with what I'm saying, let me know. If you guys disagree, tell me what is that you disagree on what I'm saying. Hopefully, you guys agree with me and don't know what else to tell you. Go Niners, and hopefully, we'll see you guys in the Super Bowl. Peace.